This full story takes you through Perseus's whole life, from his special birth to his awesome adventures. Find out how he beat horrible monsters and powerful gods, changed his fate, and turned into a legend. It's a tale packed with exciting action, magical happenings, and important lessons about being brave and controlling your own destiny. In a time when gods and regular people had important roles in the world's big story, one hero stood out. This hero was Perseus, and his story was so amazing that people remembered and talked about it for a very long time. Our story starts in the old kingdom of Argos, where King Acrisius was in charge. King Acrisius, the son of King Abas and Queen Aglaia, was born to be a king. He took over the throne from his dad, but being king wasn't easy for him because he had a lot of problems with his twin brother Proetus and a horrible warning about how his life would end. Acrisius's life was always linked with Proetus's life. They both wanted power, and this caused a lot of trouble. When their dad died, Acrisius became king and sent Proetus away to keep his throne safe. But life has a way of surprising you. Proetus, now living in a place called Lycia, married Theono, who was King Iobates' daughter. Their marriage led to some big partnerships and a famous war all over the Aegean Sea. The brothers fought over their kingdom until they couldn't fight anymore. They decided to split the kingdom in half. Acrisius stayed in Argos, and Proetus became the ruler of Tiryns. In Argos, King Acrisius had one major goal, a son to carry on the family legacy. To achieve this, he married Eurydice, who was the daughter of another king, King Lysidamas, and Queen Sparta. Together they had a daughter, Danae, but Acrisius was still fixated on having a son. His obsession grew because of a chilling prophecy he got from the Oracle of Delphi, a place where people went to get predictions about the future. The oracle had a daunting message for him. His downfall would be caused by his grandson, the future son of Danae. Acrisius couldn't shake off his fear about this prophecy, so he decided to do something drastic. He built an enormous prison-like structure where he kept Danae locked up. He thought by doing this, he could prevent the prophecy from coming true. This action set off a chain of events that would later be told and retold as famous myths. However, the gods had their own plans and often liked mixing things up in the human world. Zeus, who was at the top of the god hierarchy, didn't agree with Acrisius's approach, so he intervened in a pretty spectacular way. He transformed himself into a radiant shower of gold and entered Danae's locked-up space. This miraculous visit changed everything for Danae. She ended up having a baby boy, and she named him Perseus. Acrisius's actions, driven by his fear of the prophecy and Zeus's divine intervention, set the stage for the extraordinary life of Perseus. This beginning marked the start of Perseus's journey, one filled with remarkable adventures and challenges that would make him one of the most celebrated heroes in Greek mythology. The story of Perseus begins with these dramatic events in Argos, a tale of royal desires, divine meddling, and a prophecy that would shape the destinies of many. Acrisius couldn't avoid what was meant to happen. He was scared that Perseus, his grandson, would be the reason for his end. So he put Danae and Perseus in a big wooden chest and let it float away in the ocean. He hoped they might somehow survive. As he watched the chest become just a tiny dot far away, Acrisius felt sad and hopeful that the gods might be kind to them. While Zeus kept a watchful eye on Danae and Perseus, he sought the help of Poseidon, the god of the sea, to ensure their safe passage to the island of Seriphos. It was there that a kind-hearted fisherman named Dictys found them. He offered them shelter, marking the start of a new, more peaceful chapter in their lives, far removed from their earlier hardships. Perseus grew up under Dictys's care, becoming both strong and skilled. However, tranquility on Seriphos was short-lived due to King Polydectes, who harbored a desire for Danae. Polydectes, known for his shrewd and manipulative nature, hatched a plot to send Perseus away. He tasked Perseus with the dangerous mission of retrieving Medusa's head, a creature infamous for turning onlookers into stone with her gaze. Perseus, determined to keep his mother safe, accepted this perilous quest, unaware that he was actually falling into a trap laid by Polydectes. This quest was more than a simple mission. It tested Perseus's true mettle and character. In his endeavor, Perseus was not alone. The gods Athena and Hermes saw his potential and courage, providing him with magical items to aid his journey. Athena gave him a reflective shield, while Hermes gave him an adamantine sword and winged sandals. Additionally, he received a helmet that rendered him invisible, tools that would prove crucial in future challenges. Perseus's adventure began with a crucial encounter with the Graeae, three unique sisters who shared one eye and one tooth among them. Perseus needed to find Medusa, and the Graeae had this crucial information. Perseus cleverly obtained their shared eye, demonstrating his resourcefulness and compelling them to reveal Medusa's whereabouts. With this vital information in hand, Perseus was now prepared to confront the formidable Medusa. Medusa posed a significant threat, as her gaze could turn anyone who looked at her directly into stone. Perseus, however, was well prepared for this encounter. He utilized a reflective shield given to him by the goddess Athena. This shield acted like a mirror, enabling Perseus to view Medusa without meeting her gaze directly. Successfully avoiding her petrifying stare, Perseus managed to decapitate Medusa. He then used a magical helmet, which rendered him invisible, to evade the wrath of Medusa's sisters. After Medusa was beaten, the place where she fell became the birthplace of two amazing creatures: Chrysaor, a strong warrior, and Pegasus, a horse with wings. Pegasus would later become one of the most iconic figures in mythological tales. However, Perseus's journey was far from complete. His next significant challenge awaited him in Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, a severe crisis had befallen the kingdom ruled by King Cepheus. A menacing sea monster, unleashed by the sea god Poseidon, was threatening the land. This dire situation arose from Queen Cassiopeia's vain claim of surpassing the sea nymphs in beauty. The sacrifice of Cepheus's daughter Andromeda was deemed necessary to appease the monster's fury. Arriving just in the nick of time, Perseus employed Medusa's head, still possessing its stone-turning power, to petrify the sea monster, thereby saving Andromeda. The intense circumstances of their encounter blossomed into love, leading to their subsequent marriage. However, their joyous celebration faced disruption from Phineus, Andromeda's former suitor. During their wedding, Phineus instigated a conflict, but Perseus swiftly used Medusa's head to turn him and his companions into stone, averting the threat. This segment of Perseus's saga is filled with not just action and bravery, but also highlights his quick thinking and use of magical aids in overcoming formidable challenges. His journey encompassed battles against mythical beings, a rescue mission, and a romantic union, all hallmarks of a classic hero's journey. This narrative showcases Perseus as a quintessential figure in Greek mythology, renowned for his courage, intelligence, and the exciting nature of his exploits. Following these events, Perseus and Andromeda returned to Seriphos. Upon discovering Polydectes' intentions to force Danae into marriage, an enraged Perseus used Medusa's head to petrify Polydectes and his supporters. Perseus, after completing his adventurous journey, decided to return the extraordinary gifts he had received from the gods. He gave back to Athena the items he had used, including the winged sandals, the helmet of invisibility, and the magical wallet. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, then took the head of Medusa, which Perseus had slain, and placed it onto her shield, known as the Aegis. This act was a sign of her might and served as a reminder of the courage shown by Perseus. Following these events, Perseus, accompanied by his wife Andromeda and his mother Danae, set out on a trip to Argos. Their goal was to make peace with Acrisius, Danae's father and Perseus's grandfather, who had previously been hostile towards them. However, destiny had other ideas. In a twist of fate filled with irony, during a sporting competition in the city of Larissa, Perseus accidentally caused the death of Acrisius. This tragic incident happened when Perseus threw a discus, which went off course and struck Acrisius, thus accidentally fulfilling an old prophecy that predicted Acrisius's death at the hands of his grandson. After this sorrowful event, Perseus was faced with a choice regarding his future. He decided against becoming the ruler of Argos, feeling it was wrong to benefit from his grandfather's tragic death. Instead, he chose a path of humility and fairness. He made a deal with his cousin Megapenthes to exchange kingdoms. As a result, Perseus became the ruler of a different land, Tiryns, and Megapenthes took over Argos. Perseus then founded the city of Mycenae, a place of great significance and strength. In Mycenae, he and Andromeda lived a fulfilling life, raising their 9 children. They nurtured a large and thriving family, instilling in them the values of courage and resilience. Remember to like and subscribe for more great stories like this one. We'd love to hear from you. If you could have one of Perseus's magic items, Which would you choose and why? Let us know in the comments.